Okay, welcome back again. That was me going to the next video. This video has got a lot of pieces in it. Some of the other ones I just wanted to prove how to run into things. They're not that long. They're like 3 minutes or 11 minutes or something of that nature. But some of these are 15 minutes. Most of the streams are cut in 15. But because there's so fast of information and of what goes on, then yeah, I want to apologize if anybody's name that comes across from the world in it for permission broadcasting. But because that's so fast, and the key card function on this, if you don't have each scan disk type thing of your MEM flash drive has a slight compression with instructions on the DAT file type DAT type thing for like the data file type thing, or DLL, dynamic link library, on how to like keep a window explorer like feel of data compression onto their scan disk. And now this one has a scan disk file for it, but it has to have that folder on there, not the PS4 folder with the 1.76 patch thing. It has to have that folder like the normal work scan disk thing that you would normally have, with like inside folders in there. Then you could put it in the front of your computer with a USB drive, but the file that kicks out from that is nothing but the encrypted key of like a YouTube link thing without any data encrypted into it. Just a link placeholder. There's no actual video in it type thing that you can, without some other type of software that's really discernible, and I don't think they really put anything discernible within it. So it really has nothing to go to an external USB file on it type thing. So they say continuous stream, but every time I go into here type thing, the biggest stream I've ever seen is 15 minutes. And so I know that's complicated here. That was October 2nd, 2014, the day I got my PlayStation back and started on the Final Fantasy world. That's 908 megabytes, 15 minutes. So in this video, we're going to try to go on with understanding the video clip that couldn't be exported to a USB file that I'm doing by camera in manual means. Now, that's not the story. The story here, taking that type of sense, is that in this next video, we're going to see me doing casting on a quest close to home. And we're not ready to see the end of that yet, but we're going to see some of the involvement of it. I meant to piece it together, again, the continuous 15-minute stream, which never happens, I think, from all the different pieces. Those 15-minute streams are shared with your share button here. Or if you're in the game and you want to see the menu type thing, you've got your options button on the opposite side, which feels like the share button, but they're not on the same side. So let's go ahead and go in there, and that means. Now, I'm going to pause this here. In this screen here, that's the area that you're not supposed to run away from. It is my ideal suggestion that they connect these carrot leads that they to the carrot region of the orange to help on the quest ideals on this side. Slay ground squirrels, slay little ladybugs, and things of that nature. And there's your carrot, but they normally have a direction pointer type thing to let you know that you need to go in this direction to find the creature, man. In that sense, and they didn't, and so without that bracket, it was extremely hard to run around the map and know where to pick things up. And I am way off topic explaining all this here, but see, there should be like a pointer type thing on the mini map letting you know. I guess that's what those are, type thing in that type of sense, to let you know that you need to head more west, or that you need to head more east, or that you need to head more north, or that you need to head more south, and then southwest type thing, and that means. And that, I think, is a W on that right there is a, that's a compass type thing in that type of sense there, and a north, south, east, west, things that means. A lot of other things in there type thing in that type of sense. There's your 5 mana and 5 mana cost cure and stone. And in this buttons type thing is the L2 and R2. that orange region is where most of your hunt creatures are going to be. Sometimes it's a little bit off, and you have to go about 5-10% outside of it, and you'll find one of the initiatives that you're looking for is something outside of that circle, as is pointing at is the highest Doppler threat area of Storm. But in that type of thing, most of the time, if you have a hunt from these descriptions over here, taking that type of sense, they're in that red circle. If it turns blue, then you're in a group fate type thing, that type of sense, and it's like combining efforts. And I command it and stuff. And so that's my name here on my character, and that's Kenkadzu Guritashi. And Guritashi, that's Guri is like gray, and a stone. It's a stone that you can shape like a shoe shine or to mole, and then to spices and stuff like that, to mole as a cleric like other warriors or lead thing in that type of sense. Kadzu is like a root that's ever growing type thing in that type of sense. And Kenny of South Park and Mysterion, or Kenny of Zaraki, Kenpachi Zaraki. And I didn't use his name because I wanted to take some other literalizations on there type thing, and it's not as literal as an homage type thing if it was just Kenpachi Zaraki compared to Kenkadzu Guritashi type thing, because the Ken part is still part of his first name of Kenpachi, which is still part of Kenkadzu type thing in that type of sense. It's a kind of a derivative of it type thing in that type of sense, and Riddler thing, yes. An anagram or mnemonic device association. And that's, I'm not sure how force complicated that was, but in there, my big caster type thing, there's a lot of data that isn't here. There's your money type thing, that's 210. There's your mana cost, it's on the R2 button and the L2 button, and there's your HP. For me, at this level, as a second level conjurer with 304 experience, needing to go to 600 experience to get to conjure level 3, and that's 101 hit points with 137 magic points, and that's 107 health points and 137 mana magic points type thing, like Secrets of Mana or Zelda or any role-playing game, RuneQuest, or something with mana points in it, type thing, that type of sense. And the hit points one is like AD&D, Dungeons and Dragons, and Pathfinder. They usually don't do a mana point system. I think White Wolf does with a blood pool. It's got blood pool dots, which I guess could be mana point dots or something like that. But they're also hit point because they power your celerity and other things like that. Or do they? Do you drop blood to power celerity? Yeah, I think you do. And so that's hit points 101 is my hit points at this point. Now, the buttons type thing, that's your sprint, teleport, return, and action menu. That's your conjure and cure and stone. And in a conjurer class, as they draw on earth and wellness of earth type thing to cure people as a forerunner to the white mage. And here, type thing in that type of sense, that's the buttons type thing there. Let's see here, that's L2 and L1, and that's R2 and R1. And when you're in there, you're going to select this bottom one here, which is really the top one. Let's flip that back over. You're going to select the top one here, taking that type of sense, instead of the bottom one. Now we're going to go back on this side, and it's here. You're going to select that to get to that screen, and then once on that screen, you're going to hold down that button underneath it, and then from holding that button down, you're going to then keep your hand on that selected, and then you're going to select either the stone spell or your cure spell, just like that. That's your camera motion, and that's running around in the world, unless you're right left orientation type thing, and you have to reset it type thing in that type of sense. Pretty straightforward. Okay, now the reason why, other than knowing where that was type thing, so not to be lost with the controller while just standing around there, which there's a couple times out there I was, but corrected. And in that type thing, with the stone, when you look up in other features and later on in other videos, you'll see me in my menu command window. The stone resets with a 2.5 regeneration refresh. So after I cast it 2.5 seconds later, I have another stone. 60 seconds within a minute. So that's 30 stones, 20 to 30 stones per minute in a Civil War 54 caliber muzzle reload speed. Oh, keep loading, shoot, loading, shoot. And at first, when I was out there in the field the first time, I was giving it 30 seconds a minute of something that was ready basically like 10, 20 rounds ago. And I wasn't doing my casting the way I was supposed to. If you use the mouse thing to move over, which I'll do again later, you can get into the event battle in general of there, taking that type of sense. General one will just keep the scroll that you had in the city. The battle one will say how much damage you did, and you need to switch to that. And it's usually just a mouse and a click push down on this, or in that type of sense, R1 and L1 over until you see green on the letter choice that you want to see on, which was battle, so that you can see the damage scroll by. So you can know when not in danger or not. Okay, good. All right, good. So now I'm gonna hit play. There's messages type thing, but I think some of these messages are from there's 6 missions I have to do relatively, and there's 6 notices that I have. It was at 7:18 yesterday, and that's the compass, and that's my inventory of hotbarring type thing, which I have not pinpointed yet. And I have not locked my grid there. Now we're going to watch me cast and find ground squirrels and ladybugs out there in the Final Fantasy. I believe this is the Central Shroud world, which was in, yes. Best way to select those things is to go to journal. I'll cover that later, rather than trying to mouse pad the side action and hitting X to confirm it. And it starts reacting with the field, and you didn't mean to bump into that other creature and start casting on them. It's interesting. full active time event. These public quests occur periodically in real time around Eorzea. Anyone can participate by simply showing up before one ends. When you see a fate nearby, a message will appear on your screen and location will be displayed on your maps. And there's the blue on it there. There's my chain bonus. We've got 40 seconds in it. Let's see here. You just join the fate. Go back here. Let's see there. Just like that. Okay, type of fate can be identified by its map icon. Mousing over the icon will display the fate title. And there we go. And in doing that, when you confirm that button here, and there, and there, see the fate system? You want to just hit the mouse pad and just click down on it type thing in the center. And that should do it. It's actually a mouse and a button, so you want to click down on that button, and then it'll ask you if you want to confirm, and you'll hit X to confirm, and it should bring up that side menu up at the top, just explaining that. And sometimes they're stacked along with multiple pages, like that, and they've got L1 and R1 buttons to advance in the page within the page. So now, in that type thing, in that type of sense, X to bring it up type thing from the first page, and that confirmation with the mouse pad, and then in that type of sense, that's still mouse pad confirmation there. One here. Okay, rewind a little bit here. And the fate should come up, which I'll probably split into a different video here.